Hello and welcome to Samela, What's Going On Now. Today I'm sitting at the park here in Lake City and I'm talking with Mr. James Williams. Now on Tuesday night we had a debate here in Lake City and we have more questions left unanswered and then we want a recap of it. So first of all I want to say thank you Mr. James for coming in and talking with me today.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity.
It's a pleasure. It was a pleasure. And I want you to know something. I really appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to come and sit
Yes.
and talk with me. First of all, tell me about James Williams. Tell me about you.
Well, James Williams, I am a 66-year-old male, have traveled extensively, worked all my life, even working up until now. I have 6 kids, a very beautiful wife. I have an 8-year-old. I have a 19-year-old, 23-year-old, and so on. All of my kids have graduated from high school and college, all but one. And we're at the point right now is trying to establish wealth for my family. So I'm spending what I've learned through life, trying to prepare my children and my family for my demise, so to speak.
Okay. Well, that's a good plan.
Hmm.
That's the one thing that we as individuals fall short on. We really
Exactly,
do. We really do.
especially in the black families.
Yes, definitely. Can you give me a recap? Now, Tuesday night we had a debate and it was sort of all over the place and some things got a little out of hand, but nevertheless it wasn't bad. But could you give me a recap from your point of view of what went on at the debate Tuesday night?
Tuesday night, the debate was a great debate, and I think that it could have been greater had the young lady been there to participate in the debate. Because one of the things that are happening in our city and across this nation is that folks are not given information that they need to make an informed decision. We're pretty much voting on people we like or people we've known, opposed to voting for those who are doing the right things and who knows the right things to do. Uh, Here in Lake City, we suffer from the lack of understanding and education because most of our decisions are based on feelings and not information. So Tuesday night was a prime example of that going on. That's why we had so much misunderstanding in the room, and then we had to get to a place where we had to give some understanding. Questions were asked, people got out of hand, and all this shows how divided and confused we are here in Lake City. And my primary goal, if I am elected, is to bring integrity to the council as well as open up channels of communication, whereas we don't have to go off half-cocked. We don't have to leave meetings or different things frustrated and upset with others, but we would leave feeling more better about our city and see the fact that we're accomplishing some things.
Well, one of the things that got a little out of hand, and I'm gonna tell you what, I gotta say this. There was a young lady in there that was really surprised. I don't want to say surprised, but she did not have complete knowledge of what occurred with the mayor. Okay, so what do you think about the mayor being part time? I'm asking this question. We asked it Tuesday, but I'm coming back to the pot again.
Well, and I think that wording in that ordinance, as well as the word that has been used, is wrong. It brings a lot of misunderstanding. If you know the history of Lake City has always had a bivocational mayor. The mayor would work during the day or whatever and handle the business of the city after work. That's why the city has always had a city administrator who took care of the daily function and operations of the city. That was not left up to the mayor. The mayor only would have to come in along with the council and make decisions on something. So to say that it was part-time would be wrong. And that's another problem we have in the city. Our ordinances are written without understanding, without clarity. And that's one of the first things that I aim to address once I get on council, because if you read that ordinance speaks of a male, it doesn't speak of a female. It doesn't have, it speaks of one gender. And it needs all of our ordinance when it's pertaining to the mayor or the council or whomever, where either gender could receive that position, it needs to speak in a unified way. And that ordinance that was written, it was written for a purpose at that time, and it should have been rewritten. And what the council simply was trying to do on that night is address that ordinance, because that ordinance called for them to come back 2 years and make a decision or review of how the mayor has functioned and what she was doing. Understand, when that ordinance was written, it was written for the city did not have a city administrator. So the mayor would assume the role of administrator as well as mayor. That's why the 40,000 was put there. Where in September there was an ordinance written that came up to council, the mayor requesting a $25,000 addition to the 40,000. And that's where all the confusion came in, and they didn't see the need to add another 25,000 above the 40,000 that they had, because what would have happened is that the city would have had two administrative positions paying almost $200,000 for these two positions, whereas the mayor could not fulfill the job that it required her to do at the 40, because it only said at the 40,000 she would assume the position of administrator. She would do the things of administrator. She would do the hiring. She would do the firing. She would watch the daily functions of the different operations. She would make budgets and all of this. Well, they hired an administrator before Yamika became mayor. And on behalf of the council, they allowed the pay to stay the same. Well, it's now time to change it. And that's what they simply did. It wasn't to cut her down to part-time mayor or take any power from her, because the city of Lake City runs on strong mayor, weak council. So it wasn't diminishing her power, but it was setting things in order that they might go forward. And the information has not gotten out, and it should get out. The correction should come, and I pray that someone would see this interview and step forward with it, because the information is held by the mayor as well as council as to what transpired and what could have transpired. And it's their job to speak to the constituents of this city and let them know what's going on.
Wow. As I said on Tuesday night, I really seen some of the people in there was not aware of what you just said. And can they get that information easily? I mean, is it something that they can just get, or how would they go about that?
It's very easily. All you have to go is to lakecity.gov, and just type in your search bar the city ordinances, and it'll pop up. It will give you the ordinance as well as the statutes that the city go by, and you can begin to stream down and use the phrases city pay, council pay, and it will give you the information that you need, and you will be able to see these ordinances in complete detail.
Okay. Okay. Well, thank you for that. Okay. And I'm hoping someone will be watching this and can tell somebody, just in case someone else did not know. When you get in there in the city, when you become city council, what are some of the main issues that you see needs to take place, get corrected or fixed when you first get in? What would be one of the first things you want to jump on?
Well, Samela, I'm this type of guy here. I own my own construction firm, and I make sure I have the proper tools that I need in order to do a job and do it effectively. And I think one of the most important things is we need to, once I get in there, and thank you for the push. Once I get in there, I'm going to ask that we revisit all of our codes, not just some of them, but all of them, and revive them and bring them up to par and make it more easily for our citizens to get the information that they need. And I think most of our actions are because of lack of communication,
Yeah.
or understanding.
Well, it can be simplified if you dig. If you look, dig, and research.
Yeah, if it's
Research is
there,
the word. Yeah,
research, yeah,
research. That's the word.
and see, when you research, you have to find uh, credible information.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
there's a thing in law that we do when we're handling cases, when we're researching cases, and we look for the precedents. We look for the cases that has set the precedent for what we're doing. And we visit that, and sometimes the president has problems in it that need to be corrected. So we go and we correct those problems because we'll never be able to correct them if it's wrong.
Right. Okay.
You follow what I'm saying?
Yes.
We'll never be able to correct it if it's wrong. So that's one of the most important things. And sometimes it takes restructuring, rewriting, because we're living in a time now that we never lived in before. We're in the 21st century. It's so much stuff is different now than it was
Yeah.
back in the day. Prime example, they had an issue this week at the city that many don't know about, but I've been privy to the information. They wanted to rescind the business license of a young man here in the city. Well, when the young man got the business license, we did not have an ordinance that covered what he wanted. So we had to get the closest thing to it. And since we did that, we didn't go back and revisit and put the proper information. Prime example, it was over a vape shop. When he got the ordinance, it only covered tobacco and cigarettes and things, of cigars and cigarettes.
Okay.
Okay, now we're in the vaping business.
Yeah.
We don't have an ordinance about vaping.
So that has to be put in place.
That needs to be put in place.
Gotcha.
Very simple.
Gotcha. Well, do you have any leaving comments with me? Because I'm gonna tell you what, there's so much more information I could pick you for, but we're going to keep it sweet and short today, so we can hold the people's attention here.
Okay.
But leaving comments.
I pray that everybody would get out and vote, even if you don't vote for me, and most certainly don't vote for me because you feel like I'm the right one, or you like me, or I speak well, or whatever the case. I want you to vote for the person you feel could do the best job, one who could bring about a change in this community and ultimately in the world. So I pray for your vote. If you're going to vote for me, I pray that you would hold me accountable to what I'm saying now and as I work towards these next 4 years. So I thank you for your vote, and I pray that everybody get out and vote, because we're living in, this is one of the most important elections that some of us would see in a lifetime. So
Yes.
please get out and vote.
Yes. For Samela Bar, what's going on now? I am Samela Bar. Thank you so very much, Mr. Williams. Have a good day.
Thank you.